Okay, so hello everyone. We're here today with Nancy Coles and Yvonne Anderson, and we're talking about health and wellness during COVID and looking after your mental, physical, and spiritual health. I'm Emily from Santevia, and our guest is Nancy, and then Yvonne here is Santevia co-founder and CEO. So without further ado, Nancy, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Who am I? I am a registered holistic nutritionist, which just means we sort of look at the big picture and not just the food that you eat. And I am a registered or a certified personal trainer. I've been in the health field for many, many years.
That's great. Nancy, I mean, I've known you for years. You have been instrumental in getting people healthy. And that's a much more holistic thing than just getting people fit. And I've always thought that was fantastic because too many people think, oh, I've got to get out and exercise, but they forget the big picture. So when I saw this blog that you wrote, I went, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so thanks for being a guest with us, because I really think we need to go and take a look at the other things that affect your health. So talk to me about why having a positive attitude helps your health.
Yeah, it's amazing. The new research is just phenomenal about how you actually can control the chemicals and the reaction that goes on if you have a more positive attitude. So take, for example, a stressful situation. We know that that releases our cortisol. It's our fight or flight, which is a good thing and a motivator if we need it for a short time. But over a long time, like we're dealing with right now, it can be very detrimental to our health. So if we can change our attitude and just think, okay, this is just a challenge. I'm going to take this stressful situation and I'm going to make it a challenge and I'm going to beat it. We actually stop the amount of cortisol that is being secreted in our body, and we can decrease sort of that blood pressure and that high heart rate that happens. Or if you're feeling anxious, because we all have that sort of that anxiety that goes on, if you, instead of feeling anxious, if you can tell yourself, find something grateful, let's find some gratitude. I'm going to be happy that it's sunny out today. I'm going to be grateful that I have some food in the fridge, something. If you can find something to be grateful for, again, it takes away those negative effects that anxiety or a chronic stressful situation can. So I just think that's so great that I always had this saying that was attitude is everything. And it really is, that we can control our chemical response through the thoughts that we have. So I think that is pretty amazing for us, and it gives us control. Now, I'm not saying it's easy.
It's not easy, but that is so cool. And it's so interesting. We need to keep a positive attitude, especially during this COVID time. But the next one was really very interesting too. Kindness and social connection. Talk to us about that and tell us how we can do that during COVID.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, there has been, again, new research out that is very exciting about how kindness and just acts of kindness actually helps to strengthen our immunity. So what happens is things like just doing something, and it doesn't have to be a lot, just a smile, just holding a door open for someone. I always say, take in someone's recycling cans if they're out there, or their boxes. Just little acts of kindness actually can secrete our happy or our good neurotransmitters. So those serotonin, the oxytocin, those things that are feel good, calming neurotransmitters, they are actually secreted when we do acts of kindness. So they've had studies to say things like volunteers, people that volunteer have less pain than people that don't. In fact, they have a longer lifespan. So they have added longevity for people that actually volunteer. So the same with social connections. Social connections are so important. And that is what we are challenged with, I think, during this pandemic, is that we need that touch. We need those social connections for those oxytocins, those serotonins, those neurotransmitters to be secreted. So we do have to find other ways. So whether it is on Zoom or on FaceTime or something, but being outside, like get outside, mask up, be with your friends at a distance is still having a social connection. Or pick up the phone. Like people forget they could actually just hear each other's voice and have a social connection there can really help. And they even talk about, when you have if you're a runner, and Yvonne, you're a runner, so you would know that runner's high you get, that endorphin runner's high you get, that just brings those happiness endorphins out. Well, the studies have shown that doing acts of kindness gives you the exact same. So you get this kindness high. And then the benefit is the person that you're kind to will also get some of those neurotransmitters being stimulated. The person being kind gets more than the one receiving. So in this case, it's better to be the giver than the receiver, but it is very beneficial for both.
That is so cool. Like just little things. And we have a few people that I know in my neighborhood are alone, and we hung little Easter bags on their door. And we just kind of, you run and hide. It's so fun, but that kind of kindness is easy and everybody can do it. I'm sure everybody knows somebody that's alone right now. Yeah. So give it a go. Definitely. Now, the next one is one I like, that is certainly my passion. As the CEO of a water company, I know a lot about hydration, but talk to us about why hydration is so important to our overall health.
Well, like I mentioned in the article, that we are 66% water. Our muscle cells are even more than that. So we need water just for our cellular function, and it's super important for elimination. If we don't have a lot of water, we can have a problem eliminating, and we want to get rid of those toxicities that are in us. So that's very important. So every cell needs a lot of water. So we need to drink that minimal of 8 glasses of water a day. And your herbal teas and things like that can also count. But you do need to make sure you get that water. And if you exercise, have mine here too. If you exercise, you need to even more. And even things like if you're perspiring for any reason, if you need to make sure that you have that extra water. So you can easily become dehydrated, and sometimes dehydration mimics something else. So you may get a headache, you may feel lethargia, or just feel like I'm a little bit tired. Or you even think, why am I hungry? I just ate. Well, you could actually just be thirsty. So just having that water bottle, you can get your Santevia water bottle and measuring how much water you drink to make sure that you are drinking enough. There are phone apps. There are so many ways to ensure that you are getting enough water. So that should not be an excuse, because there's good water out there, and there's ways to count it.
Absolutely. I like my hair ties. I have them on the bottom of the water bottle and I push them to the top. Always good to remind yourself.
That's great.
So many people think the only thing they need to do is eat good food. And then we're talking about the fact that that isn't the only thing, but it is an important thing. So talk to us about what great foods we should be eating.
And people probably get tired of this, because it is, you are what you eat. And although people sometimes don't want to hear that, they really are. Now, I believe in the 80-20 rule. So 20% of the time you are allowed to just let go and don't even feel guilty about what you eat. But the other 80% of the time, you should be eating the nutritious food. So the easiest way to think about it is my plate colorful? Because then it is going to be full of antioxidants, which are full of your vitamin A, C, E, zinc, selenium, the one we need for our immune system. So it must be colorful. And is it fresh? So whole, fresh foods are what our body needs, because they're going to be full of the most nutrients. And if you can't have fresh, then with your vegetables, the next best thing would be frozen. But, shop at your farmers markets, find some from fresh food. So I would just say you need to be colorful. It needs to be as fresh as possible. And it really needs to be as clean as possible. So in other words, quality does make a difference. So if you can buy local, if you can buy organic, there's a great website you can go to. It's called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. And so you don't have to buy everything organic, but at least it gets you interested in which ones really do absorb those pesticides and herbicides and those toxins that I should stay away from. So you can, with the Clean 15, don't worry about if they're organic, but that Dirty Dozen you do want to stay away from. But non-refined whole foods, I always say if it only has one or two things as the ingredient, then you know it's pretty fresh.
That's great. Good. I love colorful foods.
Yes.
Now, the most important thing, and the one people struggle with so much, is sleep. So talk to us about why sleep is so important.
Yes, again, more research realizing the importance of that 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. This is when our body heals. This is when we rejuvenate. This is when we rebuild our cells. So it is so important to get that sleep. So again, making sure you have a sleep ritual. So there's great, I'm just using a new app on the phone, and it's just your heart app that comes on your health app that comes on the phone, and you set it for 45 minutes before you're going to go to bed. And then it actually, when it's your bedtime, it turns off everybody except those in your contacts, I think your favorites, so that nobody can contact to you, and you can make sure that you're going to get good quality sleep. One of the latest things they're seeing with athletes is athletes now have sleep as important as their training program and the food they eat, as far as their performance goes. So that shows how important it is to really work on those 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. Make sure your room is dark and cool. Stay away from screen time about 30 minutes to an hour before you go to bed. Give yourself something that's going to calm you. So have a ritual, whether that is a meditation, deep breathing, your herbal tea, just something that's letting the body know that it's time to calm down and to sleep. And if you are struggling with sleep, I think that is something you really need to take a hold of, because it can be why you're not losing weight, why you're struggling with your thinking in the morning. It can be a lot of things that it can affect.
I love my sleep stories at night. I use the Calm app and sleep stories, except I never get to hear the end of any of the stories.
That's great.
Already gone to sleep.
That's perfect.
Now, of course, we can't leave a health and wellness without exercise. So exercise is definitely part of the formula. So talk to us about why.
Well, we've known for many, many centuries and centuries the benefits of exercise, whether that's for your cardiovascular health, your diabetes, your brain health. We know all of the benefits of exercise. And I think that people are aware of that too. Latest research has shown how important it is for our immune system, and that really each session of exercise you do actually increases your number of natural killer cells. And those are your cells in your white blood cells that actually fight those viruses and bacteria and that come into our system. So we want lots of natural killer cells. So every time you exercise, you get more natural killer cells. Now, the problem is they don't stay around, so you need to continue to exercise. So we know that frequency is also important. And I just, for mine, sort of tell people find something you like, whether you want to dance, whether you want to walk, whether you want to hike, whether you want to run, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball, tennis. Find something that you enjoy doing and then do it. So just like that Nike ad sort of says, is that just do it. We need to be active. And if you can do that in nature, then you even reap more benefits, because being in the trees and being in nature will give you even more benefits from that hike or that walk or that Tai Chi or whatever you are choosing to do. So we know that it calms us, it decreases our blood pressure, it brings out those happy endorphins, and it's great for brain health. In fact, brain health is saying walking, that anybody that has dementia or anything in their family, to make sure they get out and exercise, because they know that it is also really good for preventing negative brain health. So we want to get out there and move, whatever it is.
So Nance, thank you. Any final words on how to stay well during this pandemic?
I hate to say this, but I think that Dr. Henry had it right. Is she talks about being out in nature, spending time outside, and being calm. She says, change your attitude. Like, instead of being stressed, be calm and be kind, because it's really good for your health. So I don't think she explained it enough, but I think her words are really important. So, spend time with friends and family if you can, whether that's visually sort of more, or masked up and outside, but and be kind mostly to yourself. I think that we are spending a lot of time beating ourselves up during this pandemic. So we also need to be very kind to ourselves.
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate all your wisdom and just simple things, but things we really need to do to stay healthy during the pandemic. So thanks, everybody. Remember, stay healthy. And we really appreciate everybody being with us. Thank you.
Thanks.